Mind the Game is a cry fest.
Why is ring culture so much more prevalent in the NBA than in other sports?
Here LeBron complains about ring culture.
I wish we had a simple answer. Right?
Oh my goodness, I do not know the answer. I wish I had the answer to this, but I'm not sure, man. It's funny, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport and why it's the A-all, B-all of everything. Like, okay, you weren't a great player if you never won a championship. Yeah. It's like, or if you won one, then you can't be in the same conversation with this person. It's like,
but that's a great point, because what you're saying is like, no matter what you have, you need more. No matter what.
Right.
No matter what. Like, it never ends.
Yeah, right? I don't know, man. It's just like, you sit here and you tell me, you know, Allen Iverson and Charles Barkley and Steve Nash, you know, are fucking wasn't unbelievable. Like, oh, they can't be talked about or discussed with these guys just because this guy won one ring or won two rings or one, like, it's just weird to me. It's like saying Peyton Manning can't be in the same room with Brady or Mahomes because he only has one ring. They don't never discuss that in their sport.
Right.
Or telling me that Dan Marino is not the greatest slinger of all time, or he can't be in the room with those guys because he didn't win a championship. They don't discuss those things, you know. I don't know. I don't know. Did Barry Bonds win a World Series? I don't think so. I don't think so. Barry Bonds never won a World Series. So. You can't sit here and tell me that he's not the greatest baseball player to ever touch a bat. I don't understand where it came from. I don't know where it started. I hope that we have to appreciate more of what guys have been able to accomplish, what guys have been able to do. A ring is a team accomplishment.
Right.
And if you happen to have a moment where you're able to share that with your team, that should be discussed. This team was the greatest team, okay? Or that team, you can have those conversations. But like trying to nitpick an individual because he was not able to win a team game or a team match or whatever the case may be. I don't know where it started. It's just it's a long conversation, especially when it comes to like, you know, me individually. It's just so weird. It's so weird.
Here LeBron also complains about people saying he has no bag.
And when I was growing up, it wasn't talked about it. Like the least amount of dribbles to get where you need to get to was when I grew up watching.
Efficiency.
Michael Jordan wasn't out there dribbling 1,000 times, you know, to get to the spot. He'd get to a spot and raise. You know, Isaiah Thomas, as great of a handle Isaiah Thomas had, Isaiah get to a spot and raise. You know, all these guys that I grew up, Grant Hill, get to a spot. I'm bigger than you.
Straight line.
Big Dog Robinson, you know, I'm bigger than you. Allen Houston, you know, all these great players, you know, that I grew up watching and admiring. Penny Hardaway, yes, they could dribble the basketball, but it's no Tracy McGrady. Even as great as Tracy's handle was, it was, I'm bigger than you. I'm gonna get to the spot in the least amount of dribbles. Kevin Garnett, you know, it's
good footwork. Get
just
up over
good
top.
footwork. Get over the top. If I'm a bigger than you and I get you on my shoulder, I get you on my hip, I'm gonna use my size. You know, I see it all the time. It's like, you know, I'll be on social media. It's like LeBron has no bag. It's like I'm sitting over here with
what is that?
LeBron has no bag, and I'm sitting like at 50 billion points.
Right, leading scorer all time in the NBA, no bag. That proves the point.
Yes, just play the game.
Again, complaining about the bag.
You know why? Because everyone now, it's a narrative of this thing called, I have a bag. Or he doesn't have a bag. It bothers the fuck out of me. Everyone thinks just because you get a favorable matchup that it means it's one-on-one time. Let's play ones. That's all you hear the kids talk about now. You wanna play ones? You wanna play ones? What the fuck is this? This is not Jordan versus Bird, Nintendo. Like, it's 5-on-5. And yes, if you have an opportunity to have a favorable matchup and you can beat your man, but realize something. Most great teams are going to send help. And can you make the right reads? Can you make the right reads? Can you instill confidence in your teammates to when you've scored twice on that favorable matchup? Do you know that the double is coming? And you have to see it either coming from the tilt on the baseline or from the fire from the nail. You have to be ready for that. And it takes time for guys. And some guys don't want to learn and won't learn because they just want to play ones. I've had guys on the court that literally said to me before, why y'all doubling me? Stop doubling me. Let me play ones. You have 40. No. You have 40. We're going to double you, not only because you're great, but also I know none of your teammates have been in a rhythm all game. And we're going to see if they can make a shot. And if they do, Derek Jeter, salute.
Here, as usual, he blames role players for team loss.
Cap to you. Assists go down because ultimately a role player can win or lose you a game.
100%.
And when it comes to coaching and you get from one round to the first round, second round, conference finals, there's certain guys that can win you a game. And when it comes to coaching, they're going to say, Steve is going to do what Steve does. Luka's going to do what Luka does. LeBron going to do what LeBron does. Kevin Durant's going to do what Kevin Durant does. But it's that guy or that guy. In their wins, he averages this.
Right.
In their losses, he averages this.
Right.
That's the assist, because myself, you, Luka, guys that we know we need our teammates. We know in order for us to really reach our pinnacle, we have to make sure that these guys are super engaged on the offensive end as well, because they're going to defend the hell out of the ball. They're going to be scrappy. They're going to run through a wall for us. But we need them to make those timely shots, and that's where the chess game comes in.
Right.
You know, and I think that's what you're saying. You know, the assists going down because now coaches are saying, okay, that guy in wins and that guy in losses.
Feel like
Now the blame goes to role players for a super team not winning a championship.
in the NBA, the phrase super team or the term super team is a little bit of a misnomer, because you can have a big three, right? You still need 4 or 5 ancillary role players
Absolutely.
who star in their role and then complement the stars.
No question about it.
And it doesn't work. It doesn't work unless you have those guys. And you've lived it multiple times.
I've lived it. I mean, obviously my first year in Miami, we had a big three. And everyone said it's a super team this, super team that. But we had to build our team around all minimum guys, which was still okay, but we didn't fill out the complimentary guys enough. Yeah, we had Rio, we had Udonis, but we didn't have enough as far as enough complimentary guys to actually make it all work. And we still made it to the finals. And we still probably should have won the finals, but I still give credit. Listen, it is what it is. You win and you lose, and we lost. There's no, Dallas was fucking good, and they hit a stride at the right time. Dirk was unbelievable. But my second year, we was able to grab some complimentary players and role players that really just, I'm talking about superstars in their roles. And it goes back to my first year in Cleveland. Yes, we got Kevin out of a trade. We lost in the finals. We wasn't really whole to unlock everything. We wasn't whole enough to unlock everything. Then we was able to add Channing Frye, add Richard Jefferson to that second team. Add those guys. And then the experience that we had from the year previously. JR got better, and Shump, and obviously we were healthier. Kyrie goes down in the finals and, busted kneecap, and Kev obviously separated shoulder in year 1. But you're absolutely right. The complimentary guys are ultimately the ones that will help you win the championship for sure.
Yeah.
And classified as a
More other player blaming.
real. I believe it was the Minnesota series in the first round. Guys were coming to the bench and, you know, it was a heated moment. Guys were like, we gotta talk. Like, we're not talking. And I was like, absolutely, that we're not talking. But you know what else we gotta fucking do? We gotta fucking listen. I could be talking and be calling out the play. Hey, here come the flare screen. Here come the back screen. You know, here comes the rip. But if your ears aren't open or your head is not on the swivel, you're not gonna react.
Now NBA legends shouldn't talk bad about today's players.
Us back into the flow of information. But man, that's why I like your point. I love the way you ended that with just, the game is beautiful, man. Like, I know a lot of players in my generation are critical of the game. I watch these playoff games, man. I love the game. I love the NBA. I love the little battles, the chess matches, the randomness, but with principles. You know, to me, it's in a beautiful place.
And I loved it growing up. I mean, shit. They just, the older generation, they make you not want to love the game that I grew up watching.
Right.
Like, I grew up loving a Knicks versus Bulls playoff series,
right,
or a Pacers versus Knicks playoff series. Like, I love that.
Right.
Like, or even like, you know, obviously I'm from a small town outside of Cleveland, but watching the Cavs get an opportunity to play against, you know, MJ. Didn't never see it live, obviously, but everybody's excited about it. Seeing, you know, Charles Barkley play in Phoenix, like, take his talents to Phoenix and help them get to the finals was like so fucking dope.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Johnson, Dan Marley, like, you know, those guys are really good players, but they weren't like top of the line guys and got them to the finals. And then, like, the generation, they talk so much shit about the game today.
Yeah.
And it makes you go back and watch the game back then, and it makes you not even want to appreciate it no more like I did when I was a kid. Like, it was like, like,
it's a great point. It's a great point. When you go back and watch now, it doesn't feel as good as it did at the time.
It does not.
But it was great. It was
great.
The best on the planet.
Great. It was great. Or, you know, these guys here say, we can't be friends. You're friends with that. Why are you smiling on the court? And then someone goes to find a clip of, like, you standing next to this guy during the finals, smiling and laughing. It's like, what the what? Can we just be honest with everyone? Just be honest. Like, I don't understand.
Memories are fallible. Right, memories are not perfect.
Yeah, if you want your movie to they write their own script.
Right. And you know what? Maybe we should flip it and be appreciative that, and I should, you know, I'm an old head, but that the old heads are
You're
bitter
different.
and
You're
pissed.
different. You don't even try it.
Yeah,
don't even try it.
The bitter and pissed and competitive.
Do not try to be the CEO and president of the old head committee. Don't do it.
But maybe we should say,
they're gonna string you out.
Right?
You're too positive. You're too appreciative.
Maybe I am.
Yes, you are. You're too positive and too appreciative
But maybe it's also cool that they're like, that's who they are, the competitive dudes.
Yeah,
and they can't let go. That's what made them great. And so, although it can be frustrating at times, and we have to put it in perspective, it's also great that that's who they are, that's how they got where they got, and they won't let go.
Complaining about fans thinking he is a bad sportsman.
It's funny. A lot of people, like, see me, like, walking off the court, you know, when there's, like, time left in the game.
Right.
Like, no matter if it's a loss or a win, the reason I'm trying to get to the locker room so I can start
I saw a clip from last night.
Yeah. The game was a wrap.
Just hungry.
I got to get to the locker room to start my process to get ready for the next game.
That's
so
amazing.
I'll be sitting in the locker room, foot on an ice bags on. I got my smoothie and my fruit, and I'm already getting to it right now.
That's amazing. Like, people will probably see you leave the court and be like, no, damn, he's, you know.
Yo, they had that. It was funny. During a loss, they was like, oh, he's a poor sport. He's leaving the court, they lost. And then they start seeing me do it during the wins. They was like, he's no sportsmanship.
That's a great thing for fans to know. Like, that's how dialed you are in your process. Is like, I cannot wait for the next step in the process. You're not sitting there ready to, like, chest bump at the buzzer. Let me get in this tub.
What I did not know or you know, what I did not have, I didn't have enough accumulative hours put in on perfecting the process. I think that, you know, my process was where it needed to be, or even if I even had enough time for my process to be where it needed to be. And I was understanding and had the ability, as far as my capacity, to understand the process, to unlock the process, and then go after it. And just stay that course.
Now compare what Kobe was doing with what we've seen from LeBron so far. It's literally night and day.
In this episode of Detail, if I'm LeBron James and if I'm Kevin Durant, I'm looking for areas on the floor where I can attack in 1-2 dribble pull-up situations. Get to the spot before defenses can key on me and lock in on me and operate quickly. It's another great opportunity right there. Now, this is the right pass to make. It's a right pass to make, no doubt about it. He's open, I just threw it off target. But what I also have are these pull-up jump shots. I mean, my size and my body keeps the defense off balance. I mean, look at Bell here. He's completely turned around. All right, I can stop on a dime and pull up and shoot that jumper right there. All right, 1-2 dribble pull-ups. Yeah, I can do 1-2 dribble pull-ups all series long. All series long. There, stop, pop.
Here's some more crying from the Pat McAfee show.
Which leads obviously to you and Stephen A. Hey, legit, that feels like a moment that had been brewing for a long time.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, we're watching it. Yep. We're all seeing it.
Oh yeah,
we're all. You're seeing it as well. It's
He literally. It started off with, I didn't want to address it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it, but since the video came out, I feel the need to address it.
Yeah, we're viral. You would be not to talk about it.
Are you kidding me? If there's one person that couldn't wait to the video to drop so you could address it, it's your ass. Like seriously, it's and like another. He completely like missed the whole point. The whole point. Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job, to criticize or to, be in a position where, okay, if a guy's not performing, that is all part of the game. That's all part of the game. But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players. And I think a lot of the media, including him, and I know he's gonna be happy as hell. He's gonna be smiling from ear to ear when he hears me talking about him again. Oh my God, he's gonna get home and grab some ice cream out of the fucking freezer and sit in his chair in his tighty whities on the couch.
I hope at some point you two do get a chance. But you're right.
Dude, relax, bro. Relax. Seriously. And then you look at the big four that Boston had. Everybody talk about the big three, but everybody always decides that for some odd reason that Rondo wasn't as great as Rondo was.
Yeah,
it's always just the big three.
He's from Boston.
Not me.
LeBron's
always saying
they say
that.
the big three, but fucking Rondo was when he was a dog. He brought it all. He made it all work with those guys because Ray wasn't bringing the ball up. You had Ray flying around. You had Paul when he get it at a certain spot, and Paul was a killer. And then you had KG was anchoring the defense, and also, you throw it to the low post. But they all started with the mind, and that was
really getting tired of making videos about LeBron James. But every time this podcast comes out, it's like new material just comes out for me and for everybody out here. It's like you have no choice but to make a video on it. And this time it's about, this podcast in general. Because it appears to me as though this podcast has just been made for LeBron to complain and to, lament the past and to try to change the narrative, right? When initially it was supposed to be about X's and O's. It's supposed to be breaking down the game, right, in a different manner. But it's like he's taking this podcast just to complain about stuff. Right? And I don't get it. I think if you're the greatest of all time or even the top 5, right, people don't really want to hear you complain about this. We want to hear what you're thinking during a situation. How did you lose? How did you overcome this? Right? We want to know what's behind actions. We don't want you to try to change narratives. We don't want you to try to, complain about situations, cry about situations that are already done, that have already passed. I'm not sure how long this podcast has been going, maybe a year or 2, because I know you had Redick Now you have Steve Nash. To now, I don't really see or haven't even seen one clip of LeBron taking responsibility for a loss or taking responsibility for anything. Like saying, oh yeah, my shot was off, or yeah, we weren't ready. You know, for some odd reason, it's always an excuse. And I don't understand. You know, at no point have I seen so far him take accountability for anything and saying like, you know, I was off, or, you know, my leadership ability. And I don't see how this is possible, you know, after 20 years of playing. I don't even want to talk about the championship record, you know, the losses. But there has to be some point where you can explain how you got from point A to point B or to F. And I haven't seen it yet. And that's weird. I think that's weird and disingenuine. So hopefully LeBron could turn this around. I don't know if you get this video or not, but you need more realism in this show. Okay? People are watching because it's LeBron James, but at the end of the day, you want people to watch, you know, because they're learning something. Okay? You want people to watch because they're gaining a new perspective and not just your perspective, like what really happened in that moment. Anyhow, that's all I got to say about this. That's about it. So until next time.